One of the things I learned early on in selling is that if you have the patience and the courage to slow down the sales process and build the right psychological building blocks, you will almost never meet resistance when selling. And by the time you get to the pitch or the selling piece, it's almost just collecting a decision, not pushing somebody to do something they don't want to do. And it's a great place to be. I can't tell you personally the last time in any of my businesses, whether it's selling membership here or mastermind or private clients, where I have to get on the phone and go, you really have to do this. This is the right thing for you to do. You must buy. And I came up as a young stockbroker in 1996 in my first sales role in New York when we had no internet. We had telephone and a stack of leads. And it was, hey, go make 300 dials a day, and just, they would say, pound the phones. Have you ever heard that? Pound the phones? Have any of you ever had to pound the phones? You guys were, yeah, Josh, mortgage business. Pound the phones, right? There was no real process though, right? It was just make a bunch of dials and say a bunch of things and pound the phones. And today with technology and with a little bit of sophistication, you should never have to pound anything. You should be pounding things in the kitchen, not on the telephone, trying to get a deal. You shouldn't have to do that. So when you go through this process, you won't have to. So again, in part one, that was the strategy. Today in part two, we're going to talk about the framework. Okay, so part one, strategy, part two, framework. Here we go. Now, the problem is this, before we get into my 8 points. Most try to sell too fast today. I mentioned this many, many times, and they meet major resistance. And then they get a bad taste in their mouth for selling. So I was in the Jeep dealer because I'm getting a new car. I just mentioned this the other day. And these guys you walk in a dealer and they're like, boom. They're like outside in the parking lot waiting now. They used to be inside. Now they're outside. I was literally getting out of the car the other day, and this guy was walking towards me. And I was like, is he coming towards me? Is this the way they sell it? They go towards you. They don't even wait for you to come in. They go towards you. And this guy was walking towards me. I'm like, and I said, you know me, I'm kind of for those of you that know me, I'm kind of a wise ass. And I'm like, so they put you outside now to walk towards the customer when they come in? He's like, oh, no, I was just, today was just a nice day. And I'm like, yeah, right. So, but again, talk about how are you feeling when somebody's walking at you prior to them knowing anything about you. You're like immediately guard up, intimidated, right? And that's where most people are today. But here's what very few people will tell you, and I mentioned this in part one, or show you, is that high converting sales systems and funnels are always preceded by great marketing. Always preceded by great marketing. So the better that you do positioning yourself in the marketplace, the less you need to do selling yourself. Right? So how many of you feel honestly that you're great marketers? Hold it high, hold it high, hold them high, hold them high. Don't look at me, look around. How many of you feel that you're great marketers? All right, so that's like, what do you guys think? That's like a third of the room? How many of you think you're terrible marketers? Hold them high. Don't be shy. Awareness is the first step towards recovery. Isn't that an AA thing? I wasn't going to say recovery, guys. I don't need to know who's going to those AA meetings, right? Awareness is the first step towards improvement. Right? If you're not aware of a problem that you're having, you can't improve a problem that you're having.